Welcome to another episode of Daniel Goes Outside. I am currently on my way to the Calgary airport because I'm going to St. Louis, Missouri to go to VMUG Connect. VMUG Connect is an event that is hosted by VMUG, and it is the first conference type thing that they've kind of hosted, because in the past they've done user cons and stuff like that, but this is kind of I want to say a mini VMware Explore. So it will be really interesting because it's the very first one of its kind, and I am going to go to that in St. Louis, and it should be fun. If you don't know what VMUG is, VMUG is VMware User Group. It is an independent organization that kind of brings together people that like VMware products, and so they can talk about them. They host user cons, and they also host local groups where you can meet up locally. Inside of Calgary, there is VMUG Calgary, which is ran by two of my friends, and it's really great to network and meet other people that are passionate about VMware technologies and just nerdy stuff in general, and it's super cool. I've met a lot of my friends through VMUG Calgary, so it will be a lot of fun going to VMUG Connect to meet other people that I've met on the internet. Now I am actually in the Calgary airport. I have just gone through security and customs, and it was super fast. I actually used the YYC Express app, which made it so that I could just bypass this whole school that was in front of me. So that was super nice. And yeah, I think the whole process took 40 minutes or so, because I think I got here at 4 a.m. and it's 4:49. So yeah, now I'm just on my way to my gate. So I've currently landed in Dallas because I have a connecting flight from Dallas Fort Worth to St. Louis. So I am navigating through Dallas Airport, and they have this thing that they call a Skylink, which is kind of like Vancouver's SkyTrain. Super cool, and it's how you can get between the terminals. So now I am running, well, not running, but getting to my gate. In St. Louis, and because the flight from Dallas to St. Louis was on a smaller plane, they forced a bunch of people, myself included, to check a bag. So now I get to play the game, find my bag. This is my hotel room for the next 3-4 nights. I don't know. Time math is hard. And this is my view that I get. There is the St. Louis Arch. Also, there's KPMG. That's kind of cool. And then there is some I don't know, government-looking building. I think there's a baseball thing on the other side, but I can't see that. But yeah, this is what I get to see, which honestly, not a bad view whatsoever. I'm on the 12th floor. Pretty cool. Well, I have fully arrived in St. Louis and have checked in to the hotel. I think I've been traveling for 12 hours or something. I left my house at 4 a.m. and right now it is 4:38, but that's St. Louis time, which is 1 hour ahead. So I haven't been awake for 12 hours yet. Or actually, no, because I woke up at 2:30. So I've been awake for 12 hours for sure. More than 12 hours. And I am here attending VMUG Connect. VMUG Connect I'm very excited for because it's a 3-day event, and I'm going to be able to see some friends of mine and also make new friends, as well as attend a bunch of different sessions about VMware stuff, such as Cloud Foundation, Home Lab, and a whole bunch of different talks. It's gonna be a heck of a lot of fun. I am very excited. So I need food, so I decided to go find some food, and apparently Google Maps says that there is a White Castle nearby, and I have never been to White Castle, so I decided, hey, why not? Let's try White Castle, because I heard about it in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, so now it's Daniel Goes to White Castle. Hey look, I found it. There's the White Castle. I have acquired White Castle. Well, I have officially been to White Castle, and it's I had no idea what to really expect about it. And it is effectively A&W Buddy Burgers, but as if it was a whole restaurant, which is actually really cool. That pretty much sums up the travel day for VMUG Connect. Tomorrow will be Day one of VMUG Connect, and it is registration day as well as the welcome reception. Well, today is day one of VMUG Connect, and I am going to go get registered, and there will be a welcome reception today. Well, I am all checked into VMUG Connect, and now I'm just waiting for the pre-Connect event to happen, which starts in like 30 minutes or so. This is my VMUG Connect badge, and all of the swag that they gave. There's a shirt, a water bottle, a like bag for other swag, and some ads, and a pen. Pretty cool. I just finished attending 2 sessions in what was called Pre-Connect, which there was one session about AI, which was mostly about how you can run private AI in your VCF environment. And then the other session, which probably should have been before the private AI one, was about VCF, and I had a few questions about NSX edge clusters versus NSX that you get with VCF, and I still have more questions. And yeah, the next thing that is happening will be the welcome reception, and I am going to go to that now. So today was day one, or pre-conference day, whatever you would want to call it, but today there was a couple of sessions about AI on private cloud as well as about VCF, and I attended both of those sessions. It was very informative. I learned a lot about VCF, and then I went to the welcome reception and met some other fellow V experts and a couple of Omnissa tech insiders, which was really cool to see and do, and also then talk to someone who knows a ton about NSX and talk to them about NSX and NSX edge clusters, and just talked about VYOS with another person whose name is also Daniel, who I've talked to a lot on the V Expert Discord, but never actually met them in person, which was really cool to do because you can collect more Daniels. And then just hung out and talked with more people. Also ran into someone who deals with a lot of SCCM and like app packaging, and talked to them about just all the things that they've dealt with. And they were telling about stories, how they've gone through just the different ways that they've packaged apps, and then they've done similar things that I've done, and it was really cool. And then they were talking about their home lab and how they're running Authentic, and then I was talking about how I played with that, and it was a really fun conversation. It was a lot of fun. They were great to talk to. Tomorrow will be real day one, but day 2 of VMUG Connect, and there's going to be a bunch of sessions, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And that pretty much sums up day 1 or day 0 or pre-conference day, whatever the heck you want to call it, of VMUG Connect. Well, today is day 1 or day 2 or the first full day of VMUG Connect, and I will be attending a bunch of sessions. And some of them will be about VCF and home labs and just kind of everything. Today there was a session about passing your VCP VCF exam, and it was hosted by a few of my friends, and they had like this bar trivia kind of thing. There's this website called Kahoots, and you can basically like have a bunch of questions, and everyone like goes to the URL, they enter this like access code, and then everyone like can answer the questions, and there's like a leaderboard and everything. And I ended up getting 3rd place, and then later today I actually went and took the VCP VCF exam, the admin exam, and I passed it with a score of 364, and you needed 300 to pass. So I passed, and now I will be VCF admin certified. And I got like a badge because I passed it, and I got some fancy like VMware Cloud Foundation shirt. So yeah, I ended up passing an exam while I was at VMUG Connect. And to pass the VCF exam, I have been studying for, I don't know, a month or so. The VCF admin exam was full of multiple choice questions, and the questions I got were There was a couple about NSX, a couple of them about vSphere, a lot of them were about ARIA, and yeah, it was kind of a challenging exam. The room that it was in was not very quiet. It was like where I was sitting was like right by the door, and it was quite loud because people would be talking outside, and you could like, they were very loud, and yeah, it was kind of annoying, but I still powered through it and I was able to pass. And I think I had, by the time I was done, because you're given 2 hours for it, and by the time I was done, I think I had 20-30 minutes or so left. And yeah, I ended up passing. There was a few questions on it that I definitely did not know the answer to, but I just kind of guessed at it. One thing that not a lot of people will tell you, well, I think it's something that not a lot of people know about, so that's why they don't tell you, is if you're taking the exam, if you right click on a question, it will literally draw a line through it so you can cross it out as like not a valid option, which is super helpful because you don't need to keep like rereading some of the possible answers. And yeah, so I passed an exam while at a conference, which is super cool. I've never done this before. Well, this pretty much is the end of day 2 of VMUG Connect, and it was kind of the ending of today. I went up to the 360 bar at the top of the hotel and hung out with a bunch of fellow VMUG people, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. We just talked about a bunch of things, and yeah, there was actually a session, well, it was a keynote today that was a preview of what's coming in VCF 9, which was really cool to see. One of the big changes with VCF 9 is it seems like almost all of ARIA has been renamed to just VCF operations instead of ARIA. They just like did a find and replace to change out the word ARIA with VCF, which kind of helps make things make a little bit more sense because there's a lot of different product names, but just consolidating it all under the VCF roof seems to make a lot of sense. Tomorrow will be day 3 and the final day of VMUG Connect, and there will be a keynote as well as a couple sessions, so that will be fun. Well, today is the last and final day of VMUG Connect, and I will be attending a couple sessions. Well, VMUG Connect is finally completed, and holy smokes, VMUG Connect was a lot of fun. It was great getting to see a bunch of old and new friends, and just the entire experience, learning so many things about VCF, as well as learning more things about NSX, and just kind of like scratching the surface of just so many things that there still is to learn. It was just a lot of fun. I am definitely looking forward to future VMUG Connects because this was a heck of a lot of fun. Even though that VMUG Connect is currently over, there are still a bunch of us that are still here because we have flights the next day, and I'm going to actually go meet up with a few of my friends, and we are going to go to a baseball game, which I have never been to a baseball game, and we will see the St. Louis Cardinals play some other team, and yeah, we'll see what that is, because that will be an adventure within itself. And I am at the baseball game. It's behind me. Sports thing. Oh, something's happening. And something did happen. So I went to the St. Louis Cardinals game, and they were playing something Brews, I think. And they ended up winning, which was pretty cool. It was actually quite fun going to the baseball game. I also had like the classic, you have to go to a baseball game and have a hot dog, so I had a hot dog. And yeah, it was actually a really fun experience. Yeah, we ended up after the baseball game going to an oyster bar, which has nothing to do with seafood, which is really weird. I still don't fully understand what an oyster bar is, but we went to one, and yeah, now I need to get some sleep because I have a flight super early tomorrow. Well, it is another travel day for me, and I am all packed up and I am heading to the airport, and I will be going from St. Louis to Dallas-Fort Worth, and then from Dallas-Fort Worth I will be traveling to Calgary. Well, I've made it into St. Louis airport and cleared security, And now I am just waiting for my flight, which will take me to Dallas. Well, I made it back to Dallas, and now I'm just finding my way to my gate to get back to Calgary. And now I have made it back into Canada, and I am at the Calgary airport. Now it's time to go home. Well, I am back home after attending VMUG Connect, and holy smokes, VMUG Connect was a lot of fun. It was like just kind of a smaller, more intimate kind of VMware Explore. It was really cool, and it was a lot of fun to attend and go see all the different talks and the different panels, and also the fact that you could take your VCF admin exam there was really cool. I can't believe I actually took the test and passed it, which is super awesome. It was also great to connect with new and old friends. It was so much fun. I highly recommend that you actually check out VMUG regardless of VMUG Connect, because VMUG actually hosts these things called user cons, which are kind of like VMUG Connects, but they're smaller scale than that. But there's also usually local VMUG meetups. Like in Calgary, there is VMUG Calgary, and that's how I made a few of my friends, because there was just a VMUG Calgary meetup. And it's great to like connect and network with like-minded individuals, and it's so much fun. I believe that VMUG Calgary will have an event coming up in the next couple months, which will be super awesome. I don't know the exact details, but you'll have to check out the VMUG page and look for the Calgary VMUG to find out more. All in, I had a blast at VMUG Connect. Have you ever been to a tech conference? Let me know in the comments below. That pretty much sums up this video of my experience of VMUG Connect. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to have an epically awesome day. Bye.